You're live. Oh, it always feels comfortable. Hope the sound is working. Looks like it is. And yes, KIllco now has 150 subscribers, which is crazy. Just crazy. So, a celebratory stream for me. And also, most importantly, a reason for me to have some of this. I just noticed something weird. I'll assume it's fine. I can check. What's up? Welcome to the stream I just decided I was going to actually do. It's very exciting. We are very excited. I'm not that. I'm super excited. I'm tired too, but that's a constant. So I wake up today and I have 150 subscribers, and I said yesterday I might stream today, even though I just streamed yesterday, because it's something to do. And I know, how did I want to phrase it? I got to think. Bourbon will be drank later this evening. There's another way of saying their channel name without saying it, even though everyone seems to know what it is. Now they're doing, I think, larceny barrel proof later tonight. And I'm just doing, I put this shirt on today by happenstance, and I was like, oh yeah, I talked about these samples I have yesterday too. Actually, I have 4 of them. They're all different. So I grabbed 2 since I have my Texas shirt on, and I thought, well, might as well try them finally, because I've had these for probably a year, and I feel bad about just sitting on them like this. So when I noticed I had 150 subs, I went, well, here's a good reason just to drink it. They are. I haven't had larceny barrel proof. I want to. But I do have, what I will be drinking with them later is just the regular larceny. I've been enjoying it. The 92 proof. I've never actually had the barrel proof, which they definitely have. Ow. So I want to make sure I grab the right one. Yeah, I want to try all the versions. That's the problem. They have so much bourbon. God damn it. Here's the first one I'm going to pour. I don't think this is going to focus. It never does. Do it. Stop looking behind me, camera. Do it. Why must you be such a pain? This is the joy of filming live, because it doesn't ever do what you want it to. My focus is weird. I'll just read it, and you'll have to trust me. Iron Root Republic Icarus Straight Corn Whiskey, 35 months old, 105 proof. I don't know why it doesn't want to read that. It's because it's white. I don't know. Oh, it almost focused. My camera's so weird. Yeah, it doesn't like reading. It doesn't like words. But anyway, Iron Root was one of the places I couldn't get to last year. Ugh. That's probably another reason that I've been thinking about it, is the fact that I was in Texas last November and actually had met Rex and Daniel from Whiskey Vault last October when they did their trip to Irene's store in Connecticut. So that's been hanging over my head too. It's like last year at this time I got to meet Rex and Daniel, and that was a lovely time, and drinking so many wonderful whiskeys. And this year, just different experience, to say the very least. All right, I'm just going to pour this. I wanted to look this up too. Shoot. Oh, I'm doing too many things at once. Pour it first. Think about it later. It's actually quite a bit. Oh no, it's just the right amount. All of it. I could do this for the next 10 minutes. All right. I've had my caffeine for the day, if you can't tell. Let's see. Ooh. It's not too bitey, which is good. I can smell that. What is it? Char? What did he do here? For one, this is corn. Icarus. What was Icarus? Icarus is something Bernie. I remember Icarus as a character from like Greek mythology. Oh, there's like a weird Smoky Petey thing going on there. What was that? That was cool. Oh my goodness. I almost missed that completely from the first sniff. Oh, weird. I don't think I've ever had any kind of bourbonish thing where it's got a hint of peat to it. Yeah. Oh, that's neat. I swear I've heard more about this. And I have a distinct feeling I remember even seeing the barrel it came in, but I'm not sure anymore. But there's a peated note in it, and that's going to make me nervous, because if there's peat anything in this, the next one of these I have is going to be thrown off like crazy. Maybe. I had the Long Branch, and that mesquite note I remember fairly well, but I bet the bottle's been gone for a while, so. Oh, that's reminding me of Pete so much. That's bizarre. It's so bizarre. All right, let's see. Where are all my things? Mustn't look. Okay. Trying to search something by not looking at it is hard. This is my face where I try to. Okay, there we go. Cool. Never. I've only had where did I go? I went to 7 distilleries in 2 days. That's what I remember distinctly. Sort of. As I just said, I went to 7 distilleries in 2 days. So what little of it I do remember is fuzzy, we'll say, because it was all amazing. Oh, dang it. That's what I was afraid of. I did a search just for Iron Root, and it came up with 4 bottles. None of them are the Icarus, because I feel like that was a special something or other. Mesquite flavored Crown. Whoa. That's got to be funky. It's a nice fruit notes out of this. What I've had a problem getting is the smell of corn. Like, I've had corn before, but I don't think about it much. I think of like a corn muffin when I think of corn, and that's much sweeter than, what this is, I think. Well, I haven't sampled it yet, but. And popcorn. Like, those are the few things that come to mind when I think corn. I don't think of just chewing down corn that often unless I'm at a barbecue place or something like that. This is nice, though. It smells kind of sweet. It's got a distinct brown sugar-ish thing, but there's that weird little thing in the back, which I can't tell if it's mesquite or peat or something. And there's like this weird memory I have of a Iron Root Icarus. And I swore it's that they put it in a peated barrel, but I honestly don't remember because I watched it so long ago. So I've also done all the things I shouldn't do for this. Like, I had coffee maybe an hour ago, so I'm trying to rinse out my mouth as much as possible. Really, this is just an excuse to drink some whiskey and before everyone else goes live. I don't even know if Treb's doing anything tonight. Normally he does a pregame, but I didn't see anything, so I just went live early. Got to get those numbers. I got 150. Let's see, how many more to go? What's the number? 1,000? God. Oh, wow. I thought plums. It's tingly. There's the burn. No. Speakers are on. You don't need to do the weird noises my computer makes. Ooh. That's nice. And now it's drying out my tongue a little. I dig it. I always try just to have a sip of it and then not think about it too much. But unlike other streamers, I often don't know what I'm talking about, especially when I didn't do any research. I'm just trying to find out more about this because that's gonna bug me. Because I have the thought in my head where I'm just going, remember this one time you heard about this one thing? Remember that? No. Oh, of course. One of the first things that comes up is a Scotch Test Dummies video with them reviewing it. Sweet. Let's just watch that, and then I'll tell you, because that makes sense. Here we go. All right, Iron Root Icarus Whiskey. It is up there somewhere in the void. I will look at that in a minute after I give this another taste and see if I can figure anything out. So one thing I like about watching ADHD stuff is ADHD Whiskey is he's just doing what I'm doing, but he has, thousands of subscribers. And they send him money. And that's what I'd like to do, but oh my gosh. It's making me think of... I keep thinking plum, which is weird. Oh, welcome, Steve. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi. I'll give you a shout out in the archery bit. Last year, one of the things I was thinking of doing was getting into archery because it was something I had kind of a minor interest in. That stopped very quickly as 2020 began, but hopefully it's something I'll be able to try at least casually in the future. I actually found out there's a couple of archery ranges nearby, so I could at least pretend I'm Robin Hood or something. Also, I don't know how my aim is. I'm wearing glasses. I always have that thought of, well, how good is my eyesight and my aim? I don't really know. But I always like some games where you're shooting with arrows. I played too much Skyrim and Thief the Dark Project, if anyone even knows what that is. I like this. I won't lie. The proof is right where I like it. The smell is very nice, although it's still confusing me slightly because of that weird kind of, is this peat thing? And that's why I feel it's called Icarus for some reason. But it's very nice. It's very nice. And again, I haven't had many Texas bourbons other than last year when I had quite a few. One of my favorites, I will say, was Andalusia, and they're actually a smaller distillery. And I think they've started getting stuff shipped out some places now. I hope. But if you ever get a chance to go to Andalusia, at least do that, because they're pretty much down the street from Crowded Barrel. See, that's the thing I'm afraid of doing. I don't have the money to buy bows and arrows, and at best I can go to the range that's nearby, pay like $20 for an hour or whatever the heck it is, do some shooting. It'll be fun, something to do. But again, that was last year when things were extremely different. Now it's just weird, but it's given me the opportunity to connect with more whiskey tubers, and of course it's helped me push into doing more streaming stuff, because I stream on Twitch, sometimes, but when you stream on a platform for, I think it's been over a year now, I've been trying to do it. And, there's like one person might show up, maybe, and no one talks. Oh God, it's terrible. Like, this is wonderful, just having a couple of people here chatting. Yeah. Thank you, Steve. I've been thinking about, like, that's the other problem, is thinking of what kind of bow I'd want anyway. I wouldn't even know. Oh yeah. I gotta say, the guys at Icarus, the guys at Iron Root, know what they're doing to make a very sweet and comfortable whiskey. Like, I can't tell it's 105 proof. It says right on the bottle here, 105 proof, but I wouldn't know by drinking that. But again, I was drinking a very high proof whiskey yesterday, and that was glorious. I like high proofs, unfortunately. 'Tis a curse. The curse of the proof hound, I suppose. It's the word I've heard used, proof hound. All right, since I've given my kind of, the I like it spiel. Let's see what it actually is over here. Flying close to the sun. Are you 21? Yes. Oh, it's got notes. Thank you. That's what I was going to do. I was going to look up stuff to find notes. See if the proof is right. It is, I think. Yeah. Oh, it's bonkers. I love higher proof stuff just because it's that. I think it's that kind of. It's that. And I think that might be a problem. Oh, here we go. Okay. I was getting some. Did I say plum? Something like that? All right. Here's the spiel from their site. I think it's their site. Yes, it is. Like its namesake, the whiskey flies closer to the sun. So was Icarus. The Greek mythology. We take our 100% corn whiskey, Hubris, and finish it for an additional year in both port and peated single malt barrels. Yes. That was the memory I was having, is that they had put it in peated barrels. And that's what I can smell just in the back. It's just this weird little thing, which I can barely tell is there, honestly. I missed it the first time. Each finish on its own is glorious, but together they are divine. Ooh. Nice wordings. The nose on their side is stewed fruits, red wine, and light smoke from the peat. Yay! I can figure that out. My biggest problem is that I am just someone who's been drinking whiskey for a while, and I honestly think my sense of smell and taste are really wonky. So I'm always happy when I get that little thing. The stewed fruits, I said plum, that's about as close as I get. But then they said red wine. And part of me wanted to say grapes, which sounded weird. Or grapes or raisins, but I just went with plum. Not that I've had a plum in ages. And I was very happy to see that there is a smoke from the peat. And that I was remembering the correct one, that they used peated barrels. One thing I want to check, hold on, before I get further distracted, which I am an expert at, is being distracted. Oh gosh, hold on. Okay. The thing that you don't know as the viewer is that while I'm watching myself while streaming and seeing the chat go by, for whatever reason, my camera says it's reversed. So instead of seeing Texas Whiskey Trail, I see everything backwards on my screen. And it weirded me out. I didn't want to broadcast backwards. That'd be weird. It's fine, thankfully. Taste. The taste on their site, starting with a touch of sweet port that builds into an oily richness from the corn whiskey that eventually fades with iodine, salt, and smoke. That crossed my mind too. I didn't want to say iodine, but that was when early on I went like this and I thought iodine, but I didn't say it. No one's going to believe that, but that's fine. Yeah. It's bizarre. I don't like it. I don't like that's how this is. Because I just went to my own page and checked the actual video. It seems fine. Oh, they don't have to finish. Okay, that's fine. The grains they used are heirloom purple corn, red flint corn, and non-GMO yellow dent corn. All corn. But this is actually really good. Like I don't want to say if you wanted to get someone into peat, use this because there are better options in my head. But this is something to at least kind of slip it in there and be like, hey, try this. And they might not even notice that there's a peated note at all. Also, welcome, Scotch Doctor. Welcome back. It's nice. I like. What I will do, I'm thinking about it, because one of the horrible things you have to do for YouTube, the YouTube gods, as I like to call them, is get a certain amount of hours viewed, and that's out of my hands. The whole process feels out of my hands. Like you have to get subscribers. Well, that requires somebody just clicking a button, if they're even interested. Oh gosh, I forgot how many videos I have. I don't like leaving things to the hand of strangers, but I do know that the Whiskey Tube Society here is pretty awesome. And oftentimes they're the only reason I do any of this, at least nowadays. The original reason I did this was just to keep track of my own whiskey tasting stuff. Here is the link. I don't know if that'll work, but that's for the first video I did where I finally found Iron Root in my area, because I'm in New England and there's, not a lot of Texas whiskey up here, although that's changing slowly. I've seen Balcones around here, and I know I can get Iron Root if I go like an hour away. So there's that. But yeah, not a big thing up here yet, although I have mentioned it to numerous liquor stores that I went to. Again, most of these were last year. Nowadays, the stuff I wanted to do so bad has changed. Like, I wanted to do whiskey tastings for people, and I'm in Rhode Island. Not many people know where Rhode Island is. It's in the New England area. So I always just say New England area. But yeah, I wanted to do whiskey tastings for people. I wanted to go bottle hunting for people, bring them bottles that they couldn't find or just didn't have the time to get even. That's kind of become a thing almost. And the fact that because 2020 is the way it is, there is at least some kind of liquor distribute options, at least in some parts. Like my father was able to get bottles from places just by using these new things that have popped up where you can order from a liquor store and have it delivered right to your home, which is cool, but also I think it's limiting because you can't just search for what you want. You can't see the fancy glass case that has all the expensive whiskey in it. You can't just kind of roam the aisles anymore. That was something I like to do, is just to meander around and sometimes just talk to customers and be like, hey, what are you getting? Or what are you looking for? It's good, but not so much this year. I wish I had more of this. I like the smell behind it, but I know this was probably... Let's find out. Hold on. The joys of the internet. I can do two things at once. Oh, Jesus. So if you wanted to get a bottle of this and it was in your area, you could probably get it for $65. Oh, my. That is quite a bit. I can buy 2 bottles of... Actually, wait. Yeah. 2 bottles of Wild Turkey 101 for that. Plus almost another one. I dig. Cheers to all of you if you're not drinking it. I'm promoting Texas whiskey for the moment, I guess. Really, I just wanted to try these. Especially the Iron Root one, because I have had Iron Root before, and I know I like it. So, it's certainly different. The next one I have here, I'll put this one aside, because as much as I just want to finish it, I'm almost at 30 minutes as it is. Plunk. Got a little whiskey topper here. Rinse up my mouth. So this next one is Balcones, and it's a single malt. I've had a Balcones before. I think it was on a different stream from not yesterday, a while ago. I've done a couple random streams, but it was right before the Bastards Ball, which was it early this month or last month? I've started to lose track of time. It's not good. The Bastards Ball was officially last month, I think. Yes, it was September, and it was all digital. And I went and did a stream before they actually went live. Hello, Andrew. Welcome to the party. It's so nice to have people in here. Believe me, that's like the most terrifying part about streaming anything. Is the interaction is kind of key. And I can just talk to a camera by myself, but it's not as much fun. Black Bourbon, welcome. Andrew the Cannon. Balcones has reminded me of Scotch. That's the weird thing about it. And it's been said many times by other people that Balcones it's doing the single malt, almost Scotch kind of thing in America, which is both interesting and bizarre because it really throws me for a loop. every time. Because I can honestly see if I had something that was from Balcones and didn't know it was from Balcones, I would think it was probably a Scotch just because of the way it smells. It's so nice to have people who know each other too. Yeah, yeah. Cardboard. Is this pot still? I don't know if this is pot still. It just says single malt. And the only thing I know about it is it says Balcones French Oak Single Malt, 2019 release, 123.8 proof. I can only wonder what FR oak means. I think it's French oak, like I said, but I don't actually know, which is the slightly scary part. French oak, good. I made the assumption, which I do. Oops, that was the wrong thing. Oh, the internet. Now, I think I saw this. I think I saw this on Whizzky App. But it definitely doesn't hurt to just check their site first, because they might have better notes and they might have better things. But as I've mentioned in my videos, I do use an app called Whizzky.net to try and figure out things, which is what I'm doing now. Let's give this a pour, because we're at 26 minutes. I've never felt like I'm racing the clock as much as I do now. I didn't check the color on the first one. It looked like bourbon. This one looks darker. It's kind of weirding me out. Maybe that's just my desk, but no. That is almost, that's almost red. What's that color? Crimson? It almost looks like a wine. It's freaking me out. I'm going to assume that's the French oak. Oh, it doesn't smell like Scotch, but it doesn't smell like bourbon either. It does smell kind of like winey grapey, though. The one I just poured is the, where'd it go? Balcones French Oak Single Malt, 2019 release, so last year. And Balcones is just another Texas distillery. These were donated to me because I couldn't actually get to these two places. Like Ironroot and Balcones are in two different places in Texas, and I think they're fairly far away from Austin, which is where I was at the time. And again, I did hit 7 distilleries in that area before I went back, but those other 2 were a good distance away. It would have been probably a whole other trip. I can check. It's one thing I'm good at is using Google and all that other nonsense. Let's see. Why'd that make it? Yeah, Balcones is in Waco, Texas. So that's actually, oh geez. Yeah, that's a good deal northeast of where I was in Austin. And then I think Ironroot is almost in Oklahoma or something. Hold on. One good thing I can do is look up stuff. That's it. Ironroot Distilling is almost in. It's been joked about that they're not even in Texas because that's how far north they are. Yeah, they're close to Oklahoma. They're right on the line. Good God. Okay, I wonder why that is. Science, you know, as they say. But yeah, this is definitely a bourbon that's freaking me out a good deal because of that color. And the smell's really weird. I'd get, oh God, whoa. I just got grapefruit roll up. That was weird. We're hitting weird memories I haven't had since I was a kid. Grapefruit roll-up. Cool. And there's this bizarre mustiness, too, which I sometimes get from sherried stuff and wine finish things. So maybe that's what it was. The French oak had a wine in it or something. I really don't know. But it's freaking me out a little. And as I said, it definitely does not smell like a bourbon. If you handed me this and said, what is it? I would be very confused just from smelling it. I would say it's like grape juice with alcohol in it. That's funny. I've always seen these guys doing this. Sticking their whole nose in it. You can pass out if you do that the wrong way. My mustache gets in the way. I like the smell. It's a little prickly. This one is it 60%? Yes. It's actually a little higher than that. 123.8 proof. This is why I have editing for my videos, is that most of the time I would just sit here and smell this for as long as possible. And it's often why I see other streamers who are just doing the same thing. They get kind of lost in the time and the questions and in what they're doing. This I dig, though. All right. I'll do the sip. I'm trying to make sure I'm doing things in the correct order still, because I have an order of, or I'm trying to have an order. Yeah, that is dark. It's Balcones French Oak, single malt, 123 proof. 123.8 proof, I'm sorry. So it's also a higher proof, and it's freaking me out. It does not smell like bourbon. And yet it's a Texas release. And all American stuff is bourbon. As far as I know, some people from Texas, some people from Kentucky would disagree. You're gonna step out my window. Ooh. It's drying me out. And actually, it's the burn, but it's not as hard as I thought it would be. Yum yum. Ah, sensory perception. What a joy. All right, the first sip didn't do much as far as giving me anything to talk about, other than it was thinner than I thought. It didn't burn my mouth at all, as I thought it would either. And it was like that. Like it just went. But it doesn't taste like bourbon. It's a little sweet. It's definitely kind of reminding me of this other one. But I don't think they used corn. Maybe they did. Maybe it's a lot of corn or a little corn. I honestly can't tell. This one's freaking me out as far as taste goes. Let's do the one where I just leave it there and hurt myself. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, that it's the one of the weird things about the Balcones releases is that it's almost Scotch-like in what they're doing, which is cool. I'm glad someone's actually doing that in America anyway. And I think a lot of other people are, hopefully. Random pop-up stuff. Bleh. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Definitely dries out my tongue a lot. Kind of fruity, since it is a single malt. Oh, single malt means something, which I always forget. Is that barley? I forget. For the record, I have a terrible memory. But I'm still thinking of iron root, I think. It is close to Scotch, but from what little I am remembering about Balcones, I think they're actually getting Scotch barley, I think. Oh, gosh. You know, when I want to do a search and I use the wrong search engine, I go a little crazy. Single distillery. Single malts are typically associated with single malt scotch, though they are blah, 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 blah. Wikipedia, why? Malted barley. There we go. Whew. That drives me a little crazy. Yeah, Scotland. There's the other fun part about whiskey is the whole one reference means something else on the other side of the world. I know the real fun one is Japanese whiskey. You can say it's Japanese whiskey, but can actually be from other places, apparently. Actually, do I have? Ooh. Yeah, this one calls itself a New England single malt, distilled from a stout mash. You will not see this anywhere other than maybe here or maybe somewhere else. This is Sons of Liberty. And that is an American single malt from a place in Rhode Island, oddly enough. Camera, stop being weird. Yeah, I'm not getting a huge amount of flavor on it, though, but I like it. It has something different. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't. I mean, the American distribution and liquor laws are really bizarre everywhere. I mean, just because of how prohibition ended, things are bizarre for every state. Oh. All right. Since I'm getting flustered over this one. Did I spell it wrong? No. C-O-N-E-S. All right. I got a couple here, though. That's going to bug me. Yeah. The only kind of little bit of info I have about Balcones is that from what I've heard, and this is just rumor, and again, this is YouTube, so this could not be true. Gasp! Is that at Balcones specifically, they've been using barley from Scotland, or Scottish barley at the very least. Let's see. Nothing? Oh. All right, we have official stuff here, which is good. See what the words are. I'll smell this while I'm doing it. Made from classic ingredients and matured in French oak casks, it blends the sophistication of old world traditions with the boldness of Texas whiskey. The French oak cask highlights delicate aromas of stone fruit, clove, and thyme. Those are words I would never have used, but sure. Stone fruit just means plums and stuff, right? Or peaches. The palate is rich with notes of baked fruit, toasted malt, and dark chocolate. Oh. And finishes with distinction. That's... Just makes you do that. Like, what? Sure. As the exceptional nature of this whiskey captivates our senses, we hope it will delight yours as well. Well, for my senses, it just confused me. I would agree it's giving me that weird fruit kind of note. Although I don't think I'd ever say stone fruit. Although I did say, was it plum for the last one we did? Which was weird. It's considerably sweeter than I expected for a single malt. The official nose from this thing here that says it's official. Let's see. Brown butter. Brown butter, huh? I like that. I like that thought. Brown butter, raw sugar, cloves, fresh rosemary, sauteed shiitake mushrooms. Wow, okay. Polished leather, caramelized peaches, and overripe tangerines. I wish I came up with stuff like that. My brain is just like, it's sweet and it kind of smells like fruits. God. All right, for the official taste, I can't read and drink at the same time, so hold on. Oily and coating, black tea, bittersweet chocolate, vanilla bean, ice cream, green peppercorns, underripe mango. Ooh, dulce de leche. I think that's how you say it. Dulce de leche. Burnt toast with butter. All I got is it was drying my mouth out quite a bit. But that could be interpreted as like a bittersweet chocolate kind of deal. Oh, it said vanilla bean ice cream. I like it though. Tobacco, huh? The smell of tobacco repulses me, unfortunately. I've had too many people in my family get from having used cigarettes and stuff, so every time I think that, it's a drawback, unfortunately. I don't mind cigars so much, but cigarettes always freak me out. Different kind of cigar, tobacco I don't mind, but cigarette smoke tobacco has always just been the finish, official finish, a long and clean finish with bitter chocolate, white pepper, allspice, and eucalyptus. I still don't know what eucalyptus tastes like. I don't have a frame of reference for that. I don't think I've ever had eucalyptus smell of any sort. That's another thing I don't have reference for. Fresh tobacco. Everything I've ever smelled is like cigar humidor or something. That's like the closest I've gotten to that. And that's definitely not fresh cut. I like that brown butter official nose, but I'm not really getting it. I'm just getting the sweet notes. Clove I could get because sometimes I say it's spicy, but that almost is just a like a pepper thing. It's the first thing I say, it's spicy, and I'm thinking pepper, when it could be something like clove or rosemary or something like that. That's a whole other thing. That's not a pepper, but it's not a spice. It's a it is. What is it? You know what I mean? I'm putting pepper and other kind of spices in a different category from rosemary for obvious reasons. I don't know how the heck they got sauteed shiitake mushrooms out of the smell. Richie Z, oh my gosh. The legend. Welcome. I've just been drinking lots of Texas whiskey in the hopes to drink more whiskey later on. And also because we got 150 subscribers and I have to get all the small victories. I would have done 125, except that kind of went like that. Just zipped past. Yeah. Hold on. Let's do a back and forth here and see what happens. That's one of the things you're supposed to do, right? Compare. Oh gosh, this smells different now. This smells a heck of a lot sweeter. This smells like caramel. Like sweet caramel. And I forgot it's got a peaty thing to it. The Icarus. Oh. The taste got weird too. I got the peat more. And there's like a charcoal note. God. Drinking whiskey is weird, people. But I think the Balcones was sweeter, which is almost hard for me to believe, than the Iron Root to me. Which is why when I came back to the Iron Root, I got more of the ash and the charcoal and the peat kind of notes out of it, rather than before, where I thought it was, it's made of corn, as we found out, but that's bonkers. Thank you, Richie Z. It is a long and winding road, and it's rough. As I mentioned before in my streams, the concept is to get the YouTube qualifications because, well, at first it was just to, do whiskey streams and hang out like we're doing now, which is amazing. But also because I have to figure out some kind of way to work from home. And this is a good enough reason for me to do it. I mean, if I get to sit and chat with other whiskey people, talk whiskey, and somehow get paid to do it like ADH Whiskey does, that'd be great. But that's a long road. You got to meet all the marks for the YouTube gods. I'm okay with that. After a year of actually kind of half trying, I already have more subscribers than I thought I would, which is awesome. Yeah, I don't know what he did, but I want to do that. Like he said he got a year recently, and I'm thinking, well, I tried to start a year ago. But he's been probably more consistent and probably has much more different kind of videos. I actually haven't watched many of the videos, to be honest, because there's so many whiskey tubers. I try to stick to a few basics. Yeah, I know about the junkies, but I don't even know where they are. And I know much like me, they have, it's watching some other white guys on YouTube drinking whiskey. It's like, oh, that's what I was trying to do. I thought I had that category knocked down, but no. Also, my start was with the Whiskey Vault and their nonsense. So there has to be a good amount of nonsense for me. If there's too much just having opinions, it gets... Yeah, I imagine it has. That's kind of what I'm trying to do to my channel. Is I have been on other whiskey tubers channels, but I don't know. It's weird. I'm trying to get people to be on my channel and trying to get involved with other whiskey tubers because it's mostly just exposure to them to some extent. Like plenty of people would know me in chats, like Richie Z. I know he's seen my name in numerous different places, and I've seen him, and it's glorious. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, yum, yum. You guys definitely peed in there. I think another part of it is I know one of the things about doing this kind of thing is you have to like pick a niche, so to speak, and I haven't picked one. I went with KIllco because that's my thing from when I was in high school, I think. And that's it. Just a name I came up with. And it doesn't really have any kind of whiskey reference, but also I don't want to say only whiskey, Richie, the people have spoken. You need to have a channel or at least do something on like Instagram or something. There you go. Now this smells. Let's do what Daniel does. That didn't help me do anything. Now my brain is just very confused. Yeah, this one smells sweeter and has fruit notes still. Oh, while I'm trying to think. There's another one of these. Ugh. I like that people know each other. That makes me feel like I'm doing something right anyway. If we have like general chat people who are in Whiskey Tribe stuff and Whiskey Vault stuff and It's Bourbon Night and Aquavite and everything, that's good because that's what I'm trying to do is get those people who are interested in the same thing as me, who like to drink whiskey and experience it but not take it too seriously, because once you do that, I think something is lost. It's the shared experience that's important. Oh, that's right. You came in late. I'm sorry. I tried to do this earlier, but every time I try to put this up to the screen, it hates me. The two samples I have, I started with Iron Root Republic's Icarus, straight corn whiskey, which was this one, and it does have a little bit of a peat note to it. And then the second one I poured is Balcones French Oak Single Malts, 2019 release. And the Icarus is 105 proof, and the Balcones is 123.8 proof. And they're both glorious, and neither of them drink like that proof in my mind for some strange reason. That's the hope. Beth, thanks for stopping by. It's a long climb, and honestly, it's actually, in truth, if I think about it, doing YouTube stuff is a lot of work. If you want to do it right, you have to put a lot of effort into it. And unfortunately, with my, let's just say, health problems, not such an easy task. There are some days where I'm just not functional. Yeah. I'm I'm just on YouTube, but I have all the other ones. I have like YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I have a Facebook group, but it's just there kind of as a placeholder, really. I have a Patreon, which I'm just leaving to the side because I don't want to touch that until I have everything else set up. It is a long way to the top. The only other thing I can do is sing, but most people don't want to hear singing with their whiskey. They want to think about their whiskey. Oh, God, which one did I just pick up? Oh, gosh, that tastes so weird now. Oh, no. So the one thing I know is that that's not even niche. There's been so many people who sing and drink at the same time. It's kind of goes hand in hand. Like, that's why people go to concerts, really, is they just want to hear music and drink. Harbinger is amazing. I'm actually very happy with it. Well, not Harbinger, I've lost track of what I was talking about. Icarus. But I know that is I think Harbinger is their regular line. Put into peated and something barrels, which is glorious. Yeah, he does. Ed is a silly man. Oh gosh, work. Here we go. I'm doing one quick check because the one thing I don't want to do is step on anyone else's time, so to speak. And I know Trev usually does a stream before other people, but I don't know if he's up for it. He's had some rough stuff going on last I heard. I don't see him anywhere, so I'm not going to bother for the moment. I'll just keep going. Doing more comparisons. Right? I mean, I could do that for you if you want, but not until I hit 1,000 subscribers, clearly. I'm trying to think when I was on a stream with him. It must have been in Whiskey Crusaders, I think. I've been on their channel a few times, and I've been on Eric Waite's channel at least once or twice, randomly. There's never any planning with it. It just kind of happens. Exactly. No man boobs, no man cleavage to 1K. That's how it is. You have to meet all those marks. You got to get 1,000 subscribers, and you got to get whatever the heck the amount of hours watched is, which is crazy. I'm going back and forth now. Look at that. I still can't get over that. I mean, that looks like it was put in a wine barrel for certain, but I guess as someone was saying earlier, I'm bad with names, and my memory is very bad too. We were talking about French oak in chat briefly, and how it's more porous, someone said, which certainly seems to make sense. Yeah, Richie, it's 4,000 hours. That's just bonkers. It smells nice, though. I mean, yesterday when I was streaming, I was all nervous because there's no. The one funny thing about watching these streams is I never think of what they have to do before they go live. And really, for me, I don't do much. I think I only had the glassware and a couple of samples, but good grief. Just the amount of prep that goes into a stream is a little bonkers. I know with what did I say? I was making a joke of it. Bourbon shall be drank later this evening. Oh, there's Jason Busey. Welcome. We're still wondering what's going on, or at least I am, with if anyone's streaming for the next hour or not. I know I'm just waiting to go hang out with the Bourbon Shall Be Drank Later This Evening channel. But since I hit 150 subscribers, I'm having whiskey. Oh gosh, knocked it with my thumb. I was knocked over. Iron Root, Icarus, and Balcones French. Oh gosh, French Oak. Welcome to the party. I only have 2 glasses. Oh, you know what I should do? Since I have a thing, and if you hear what sounds like some crazy person yelling at their pet, that would be my lovely neighbor. By lovely, I mean she's insane. But since I was given this little thing, I want to see if this does anything different. I know it's just like a bottle with... Does it want to... No, doesn't want to do it before. That's his crowded barrel, and this is full of water. So since I've sampled both of these now, I'm going to add a little water. How many drops of water should I do, class? I'm glad you like it, Jason. It's definitely different. And like the thing that's most apparent is just the look of it. I like it, but it's not blowing my socks off. And I think that might be just it. And it definitely doesn't drink like a proof it is, which is the really kind of amazing thing about it. It's 123.8 proof, and it seems like it's just, 45% or something. 1. Do we have any of the votes for the water? I'll start with 1. Beep. Put them both. Beep. This is really an eyedropper. Start with 1 in each. See if anything happens. Ooh. I think so far. We have 2 drops. I'll add another drop. That didn't do anything to surprise me, really. This is a good eyedropper. I'll give it that. But crowded barrel thing. I know they just put a sticker on here, which is hilarious. But it was technically free, just because I'm a Patreon person of theirs. And now I have that song stuck in my head for whoever did that. It's a long way to the top when you want to rock and roll. Thank you for that. Yeah, the smell didn't change much. Changed in this one a little. It smells fruitier now. All right. This is the Icarus with water. Ooh, the peach shows up a little more. But again, that may be because I was drinking Balcones. I have no frame of reference anymore. It's still good. It doesn't burn as much going down. I just noticed that. Normally, if I really notice the burn, I do that is my supposed thing. It's just the, ow. Water. Very important. Drink the water. Always drink the water. The smell of this is nice. This one still seems thin to me. It does attack my tongue and dry it out. Not getting those shiitake mushrooms, though. I'm not noticing a huge change with the water. Maybe that's just me. Again, the problem for me is like watering it down seems like a terrible idea to me. I always like the higher proof stuff. No, it's I don't want to say, I already said thin. But there is a viscosity, I guess, difference is the nice way to put it. for whatever reason, if I'm comparing the feel of things, that's the hardest part for me to describe to others, is there are some whiskeys that I drink and they stick and like stay on my tongue for a while. And there are others where it seems like I'm drinking something that's, the only way I can say it is, thinner, where it's not as clinging and cloying, and then it does something like it dries out my mouth completely. That's what I'm doing with this one. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It's because it's drying out my mouth, instead of sticking and just hanging there. Oh, the finish on this one's long. Yeah, super dry. At least I'm noticing that much. But yeah, it's still there. Still there. Still there. Still there. I'm salivating like crazy right now. And now it seems to have leveled out to where it feels like my tongue is normal again. I like it. Like when my brother was doing stuff with wine, one of the things I found out is I like kind of sweet wines, but I also don't mind the ones that are dry. And I know that you do that to your tongue where it just kind of goes and all the moisture comes out of your mouth, basically. I'm doing one more check. Because we've hit the hour mark. And again, I don't want to step on anyone else's toes. I'm actually seeing a lot of people who are alive right now who aren't whiskey people. It's bizarre. Yeah. All right. I don't see anything. So we'll call this the pregame hour at the moment, unless something changes radically. No, not a lot of people do. I mean, it's bourbon will be drank later this evening. Do they? I usually watch It's Bourbon Night. That's kind of like my end of the week thing, just to do something. And also, it gives me an excuse to drink bourbon. But the ones I watch in general tend to be It's Bourbon Night, Aquavitae. And actually, I watch a lot of streams during the week, now that I think about it. Like, I know Whiskey Crusaders is tomorrow. Someone's on Tuesday, but I don't always watch them. Wednesday? Wednesday is Mash and Drum, I think. There's so many. That's me. I'm so poor. You have no idea. Oh, yes, that's right. Destination Bourbon. He's one he wasn't on my radar for some reason, but he just showed up earlier in the week when Trev was on his thing. That's how I caught that. I don't know how I missed him because he has arcade stuff and whiskey, and he just makes me jealous. I think that's the worst part about me doing this, is I watch other whiskey tube streamers and I'm like, oh my God, they have so much whiskey. And I have, I have a lot. I definitely do. I am certainly privileged in the amount of whiskey I have by any means. Junkies are Tuesday. Yeah, see, I have to pick days where I don't watch stuff. Bonkers. And the junkies just make me jealous. I'm going to be perfectly clear. They have so much whiskey. I got to figure out what telex is. You throw me off. You make me have to do stuff later, and I'm going to forget because I'm good at that. One thing I'm amazing at is forgetting things. Wish it wasn't true, but it is. Click, click. The Whiskey Tech? Is that who we're talking about? Yeah. I can't call myself a serious whiskey geek, unfortunately. I enjoy whiskey. That is true. And I enjoy the experience. Like this is what I enjoy, what we're doing right now. And that's one thing I haven't been able to do lately because 2020, other than from home on other streams, which is why I'm trying to stream a little more. But as I mentioned, I stream on Twitch and I'm trying to stream more here. Unsurprisingly, I like this one a little more than this one. I do enjoy the Balcones as what it is, but I know I have a leaning towards bourbon to begin with, and since it's a single malt, it's still more Scotch-like. And I know this one has peat in it, which also just kind of gives me a kind of like this one better feeling. And let's be honest, Iron Root has a check mark in my whiskey journey with just the fact that I went to get an Iron Root Harbinger bottle last year and made a whole damn video about it. I don't believe so. Although it does have that kind of weird musty note. And I'm starting to get the dark chocolate now. I'm hanging out with it. Ooh, yeah. I actually get a funk most of the time when it's a sherry finished Scotch, it seems. When I've thought about my older videos, every time I get some kind of finished Scotch with sherry, it's always a funk, and not something I like, unsurprisingly. Like there are a couple over here where I'm just kind of like, I have them mostly because I bought the whole damn bottle and I don't particularly like it as much. And I think I lean to peated Scotches a little bit, just a little, not the crazy ones. But if I look, I would say like this one, the MacLean over here. I don't really like it. It's not that great to me. It's got this weird funk to it, which bothers me. Which is crazy because MacLean's supposed to be the big, blah Scotch. MacLean M, especially. Well, here's the thing I do know about Texas distillery and whiskey and such is that it's going to have a hard time doing much of anything, as we've learned this year. It's just the state laws are trying to kill the Texas distilleries at this point. Distilleries. Like even Crowded Barrel opened up, this weekend? Just this weekend again? And they got shut down. So they opened up, then shut down, and opened up again. I mean, it's discouraging. Granted, I'm not in Texas. And the distilleries around here, well, it's a small state, so I think there's maybe 2 or 3 at most. Yeah, thank you, Richie. Most MacLeans are sherry, and it's weird. It's not terrible, but it's definitely a whole different thing. It does look pretty on a shelf. The bottles they have are very nice, but as far as being my taste, no, not really. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with not liking MacLean. And I can also say I don't particularly like Dalmore. Like that Dalmore over there, I've had for quite a while. And it's the same kind of thing where it's got this weird, kind of thing for me. And it looks lovely. The box is lovely. The bottle is lovely. It looks lovely. But it's just not my thing. I'm finding more and more I'm seeming to lean towards bourbons is kind of my comfort drink, but also different kinds of blended scotches instead. That kind of thing. I know that's a big no-no. And I have had some amazing scotches over the years. I can't even say that. I've never had a really expensive Dalmore. These are nice. This was a drying one. I forgot. If anything, if you want to drink lots of water, drink that one. Whoa. I like it, though. It definitely makes me want to try more Balcones stuff. Certainly. And I do have a couple more that I may do for the next mark, whatever that is. If it's a 120 or 175 or 200 or whatever it happens to be, I do have the samples. And I showed them yesterday. I'll show them again. Just to wet your whistle for whatever the next time might be. We have one called Balcones Juntos. This one's finished in tequila finish. Juntos single malt tequila finish, 112.2 proof. And the other one is the Ironroot Republic Icor, 5th anniversary, 5-year-old, 123 proof. So those are the next ones for a Texas sampler. And then I have some random stuff like 1992 Liquid Speyside Single Malt, 27 years old, 105.6 proof. And this is a Willet 4-year rye, 109 proof, which is doesn't have a fancy label, but I've never had Willet. And then we have a 1983 Milton Dove Speyside Single Malt, 31-year-old, 92 proof, which is just, I'm scared of that one because of its age. It's, I was 10 years old at the time. I have to read everything. I'm a slow reader. Christmas in a glass? All right. I can do that. I can do a Christmas stream or a Willet sampler. One thing I wish I could get, which you just reminded me of by saying Christmas, is the fact that I have tried a Midwinter Night's Dram. And I feel bad that I did, because that is certainly something I wish I could get every year at this time of year, like November or October, November, December. That feels like the perfect kind of drink for this time of year. I've only had it once, and I only had it at Irene's store in Connecticut, and it was amazing. It was lovely. I wish I had a whole bottle. However, I did get this yesterday, for anyone who wasn't here. This is my first official donation from Sir Long Juice, who's a magnificent bastard, apparently. And it is 62.5%. Yet it drinks like creme brulee in a bottle. And it's also a single barrel. It's the full proof, but it's a single barrel select from the nearby liquor store. And it is lovely. That's my first official donation. And that's only because I figured out a way to get donations, which is to, if anyone's interested, which he was, I tell them about my nearby liquor store. And, you can buy a bottle there and say KIllco will pick it up, and that's me. Or Brian from KIllco. It was kind of weird because it didn't have my name on it when I went to go get it, but it did say KIllco. And I did say KIllco to the guy who was looking for it, and he was like, okay, here you go. So that's not exactly, someone wouldn't know to say that when picking up a bottle. But it was an amazing bottle. It was $45. Neither of us knew it was a single barrel thing. Words. Hold on. Single barrel select. We didn't know that when we got it. We just thought it was the full proof. And as a select barrel, it is wonderful. And as you can tell, like if I show this a little closer, I opened it yesterday. It's already down to there. How did that happen? Maybe I drank more later in the evening over ice. Who knows? It is lovely. I'm scared of that bottle because it's so good. And I'm sure part of it is just the fact that it was a free bottle of whiskey from someone who's awesome. Sir Long Juice, which feels weird to say. Because I know his real name, but I don't want to use people's real names out in the internets. I don't even like using my own name. But I do. It does. Like these samples, for instance, were gifted to me. And as I said, it was about a year ago. And I think it's from a guy known as the Whiskey Fairy, but I'm not sure. I haven't validated that just yet. But he was someone I met at Irene's last year when I met Rex and Daniel, when they were in Rhode Island / Connecticut, which was amazing. I have a picture and everything. And then I got to see them again in November of 2019 when I actually went to the distilleries and went to those 7 whiskey distilleries in 2 days, which was bonkers. It is hard to come by, Fort Wilson. I like to say I'm just following in the ways of the mooch. You know, if there is whiskey to be had, and I will have it if no one wants it. That's kind of the scary thing to say too, because people will then be like, "Oh, you like having free whiskey? Try this one." Suddenly, you're getting Malort and what's the other one that's been doing the rounds? There's Malort and there's for bourbon will be had later in the evening. It's Jaeger bombs. They don't like Jaeger bombs. I'm fine with Jaeger, thankfully. So if you want us in that, I'll drink it. I won't love it, but I won't hate it. Actually, I may not be a master mooch, but and I'm definitely not in the cult of Ardbeg, even though I do have an Oogdal over there. I do have a mooch robe. It's very cozy. That's right. I am no. I actually got this robe after I saw Rex in his mooch robe, and I found one that looked a hell of a lot like it. And guess what? It is super soft and super cozy. And I feel bad that he punched holes in it for eyes to be the whatever the hell he is now, mooch master. Yes, I do have the robes. I got the robe not long after the mooch became a thing. And I actually looked at it real close. I was like, what is that? It looks very soft, and it certainly is. But what was funny is when I looked it up on Amazon, it's got someone wearing the robe, but the guy's got no shirt on. He's completely hairless, ripped, and he's like, ugh. And my only thought was, Rex had to look at that and buy this robe, huh? I dig it. It was lovely. It's hilarious when you go look it up. I can actually find a link, I think. If anyone wants their own mooch robe, I can show you where I got it. And as I said, it is extremely cozy. I only wish I could do Amazon links. That's something that some people do. Oops. Duh. No, don't look in Prime Video. Oh. Oops. Now I'm going to have a hard time finding this because I said I could. It looks like it, but it's not. Oh. The only way I'm going to find this is if I look at my past orders, and that's going to take a hot minute. That's okay. I have plenty of whiskey. Jaeger bombs taste like Dr. Pepper to you? No, the only thing Jaeger bombs remind me of, they have a black licorice thing to them, as does my friend over here, Lucid Absinthe. If you've always wondered what absinthe is like, tastes a lot like black licorice. Also, sorry for the noise. And it's nice. I mean, it's not terrible. But if you don't like black licorice, or that, what's the word that's used oftentimes? It's like anise, or I don't know. Dangerous words I'm saying here. But some people do not like the black licorice taste. I didn't like it when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, I don't mind it as much. Maybe it's just because I'm an old man at heart at some point. I know I'm not. I'm too much of a klutz. Too much of a... little too much of that. If I'm an old man, I'm a wonky one. I'll say that much. Anise, yes. And I think that's kind of like black licorice, but I'm not sure. I don't really know what the word means. I've just heard it before. Yeah, Balcones is doing cool stuff. Ow. Why did I feel that more now? It's because it's been sitting there a little bit. Woo! Bracing. Gah. Yeah, that Balcones makes me want to drink water every time I sip. Which is good if you want to sell whiskey. Make it dry out the person's mouth so they have to drink water. And they'll, if anything, want to drink more of your beverage. Fennel. New words. Did I actually buy that in 2018? Good God. Doesn't seem right. Probably is. There it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this without breaking anything. Is it still available? I think so. $25.99 for the robe. You're going to love the picture. Bam! I don't know if that works. Someone let me know if it works. If not, I can get rid of it. Yeah, that's right. People have used those notes with rye whiskey. I don't get that. That's one of the things that I don't notice when I'm drinking ryes. I like ryes, apparently. But I think the only time I would say I've gotten that before is if it's a very high rye. Like the one thing that came to mind when you said that is the High West Double Rye, which I enjoyed. I don't even think I made a video of it. I think I just enjoyed it myself. But the Double Rye was really different. Like I know it was, it's a high rye thing. And that is one of the ones that makes me think kind of black licorice, weird, funky kind of thing. I like rye bread too. I'm going to double check that link to make sure it works. There we go. Oh, yeah. The hotness. That is the robe I got, and it is very soft. But when I saw the gentleman modeling it, I was like, well, I mean, I could look like that if I wanted to work out every day. Maybe. Brennivan? That sounds... Breviden? I'll look that one up. The funny thing about my channel that I've noticed as a creator, that feels weird to say, but as someone who's been making videos about whiskey mainly, the ones that get the most views have nothing to do with whiskey at all. The ones with the highest view count right now are this one, Absinthe, and I think I did one on rum. It was that Kraken rum, black rum, spiced rum. And I didn't like that very much because it was very metallic-y and cloyingly sweet or something. I didn't like it. But I think it's also because it reminds me of Captain Morgan, which is another one, if I remember it. It's got that weird texture to it that I'm not a fan of. I like things that stick. Yes. I tried the Kraken rum and did a review of it, and I was like, no, it's not great. But it was rum, so I mean, what do you expect? I'm not a rum person. Raise the Kraken. Raise the Kraken. Ugh. I didn't even see that movie. I know what you're talking about. You have to put this word somewhere before I forget it. It is a beverage. Bourbon. Oh, it's a schnapps. An Iceland schnapps. Oh, I'm sure I am. That was just because it was it's one of the things I've been thinking about doing with my channel is doing mini reviews because I'll show you. Oh gosh, how am I going to do this? So this is why I'm going to do mini reviews probably at some point. Chivas Regal 18, Dewar's White Label, which I think I have. No, I have the Dewar's 12. Woodford. Where'd you go? Woodford Reserve, which I think this was the second one of these I have, so I did it already. Evan Williams, which I did 2 weeks ago, I think, and it was silly, and then Jack Daniels. These are the ones I have here. I actually got, and I think I showed it yesterday, but I don't remember. My mother, who does not drink alcohol, got me a bunch of whiskey-related stuff, and mostly she just grabbed anything that said whiskey on it. But One of them was an Irish cream liqueur. One of them was, well, they're all like flavored stuff, let's just say. And they all come in things like this. So that's why I was thinking about doing, God, I had too many of these, mini reviews. We have words. There's actually a place nearby that I like going to that has a whole rum flight selection thing. So that's an option. But again, I don't even think I can sit at their bar right now because of how things are. Foursquare and the Real McCoy. Yes. That's what I tried to explain to my mother, is that it can say whiskey on it and not mean whiskey. No, it's not my mother-in-law. It's my actual mother. And again, she doesn't drink alcohol. Just me. I seem to be the whiskey guy in the group. My father was drinking whiskey, but I don't think he's allowed to right now. He's got stuff going on with his vocal cords, so whiskey is out, as is most alcohol. All the more reason for me to drink more of this stuff, because normally I'd share this stuff with him and maybe my brother, but not right now. Whoa. How did I not know there was peat in that before? Good grief. Actually, no, I did know there was peat in it. Or I assumed there was. Part of me wants to go like grab the flavored stuff I was talking about. The other part of me is like, don't do that. Don't get up. Stay at your desk. One of the mistakes about streaming and stuff is that you have to be here unless there's 2 people or more. And you can't really get up and walk away. All right, here we go. I got my Instagram thing. We have Jack Daniel's Fire. I don't know what the heck that one's called. It looks like BSB or something. I have no idea what that is. Something called Yukon Jack, Roadhorn, Rebel Stoke. And she did get me a Jack Daniel's one. So there was one actual whiskey in there. And I think she got this this extra Evan Williams one. But it was very amusing. I was very thankful that she got them for me, because she bought them mainly because it was one of those, little mom and pop shops. And she wanted to help the local business thing because, times are hard, as they say. Foursquare. Foursquare is a thing on my phone when you say that. So it's very confusing to see it here. Foursquare was like a location app thing. No, I'm not sure what they are. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of other stuff. Like I have plenty of I don't think I'll like this things I could review, and they're all flavored. And there is one that I remember I've had before. I think it was a honey one. I think it might have been Evan Williams honey was in there too. But it was one of the few, or a honey one. I don't want to say it was the Evan Williams honey, but I had one honeyed liqueur thing, whiskey thing, and it was just no. I took a sip and it was just way too sweet. I don't know exactly why that is with me, but I seem to prefer bitter things over sweet things. I do like certain sweet things, like I said before. We have a creme brulee whiskey right here. It's lovely. But the extremes, like even it might have been Jack Honey. I don't remember which one it was, but I tried it. I took a sip and I was like, nope. That's one of the few things I've ever dumped out into my sink. I was like, no way. I'm not going to drink this. They do. I think one of the ones I have is the Evan Williams honey, but I don't remember which one I tried because I didn't do it for a video or a stream or anything. It was just because. And it was awful. It was way too sweet. Like with what I found with some dessert wines. Dessert wines, no. I don't know why anyone would want to drink some of those. It's just extremely sweet. Way too sweet. There's a limit in my brain somewhere to sweetness. And some dessert wines just go way past it. And I don't like it. Unfortunately for me, but You give me espresso with some whipped cream in it, I'm good. I'm not a, well, no, I am a bourbon drinker. I read that backwards. Yeah, what I'd like to do is go to, what I wanted to do, let's say, is that there is a restaurant in my hometown, actually, that has rum flights. Lots of different rums, some of them local. Even the place that I want to get a whiskey from, which is nearby, it's called Sea Fog. One they did before was slightly peated, and it was lovely. But now they only have the rye available. I think they, since it's such a small distillery, the peated one is gone unless I find it at a restaurant or liquor store. Maybe. I haven't seen it in liquor stores at all. But when I did sample it, it was at a restaurant, and I got to try it. And it was this lovely peated thing. Made me know I wanted a bottle, but then, of course, I can't find the bottle anywhere because small distillery, small distribution, hard to find, and extremely expensive. I think it was $65 to $70 for a bottle, which is more than I care to spend on a bottle no one's heard of, unfortunately. Because part of doing this is you have to have stuff that is searched for, at least talked about, or people are curious about. But oddly enough, that's why I get so confused by the fact that many of the non-whiskey reviews do better than the stuff that tends to be very generalized. Even the Evan Williams Black I did recently, which again, I have plenty of it. It's right here. But that is more of a mixer to me. I like the Evan Williams Bottled and Bond much more. And for whatever reason, watering it down and having it at this proof, no, not as interesting. Still good, just not as interesting. The real McCoy. It's on my list. I mean, the thing is, like with what I was saying earlier, I haven't pigeonholed my channel on purpose because I don't want to say I'm only going to drink whiskey because, you know, there's so many other things to try, simply. I will try any kind of alcoholic beverage. I've even done a few food things. I think I did a pretzel thing. What was it? It was a while ago, but I for the first time I tried these pretzel things that were from Hawaii, and they had pineapple, and they were delicious. I wish I had some right now, but I don't. I haven't, Richie. I haven't tried RJ Searles rum. Rum is not something I've been looking for, you know, just because of the whole whiskey world. There's so many whiskeys to try, but like I said, if I'm donated anything, I'll try it. Like even Malort, just because I'm curious. I've seen everyone else freak out. Like, don't buy me a bottle of it, to be clear. But I am still taking samples at the moment with the hope that no one's going to poison me. That'd be bad. That'd be very bad. Don't do that. But I know with the Whiskey Vault, they were doing samples early on, and they had to cut back on that just because it was too many people. But I know I've also been offered whiskey from other whiskey tubers, which is exactly what I'd like to do because I don't have the funds. As I said earlier, this is basically what I do for a job, and it's not making any money right now because of my mental health, and also because of this year being as it has been. Finding a job just became a lot harder. Nice. RJ Series room. I was looking at that. But yeah, this year has not been great for job market. And as someone who can barely function in general, I'm on a high at the moment. Like for the past 2 days, I've done a stream, and I've been able to function, which is nice. But there are a lot of days where I don't function at all the weekends, and it sucks. Last week, I didn't function much. Like if you don't see a video come out on like a Wednesday, I wasn't doing too good that week. I've been trying as best I can to get some kind of video done by Wednesday, but if it slips by, I just do something else. Like this week. We're doing streams instead, and so far, so good. Cheers to that. This is so weird. I like it. Oh, gosh. The drying out is intense. Well, at the very least, I figured out I like these. And I have my Texas Whiskey Trail shirt, which I think I bought when I was there. I honestly don't remember. Or, no, I did buy one there. I bought a different one earlier in the year because of what's happening in Texas. If I assume you're all aware of the problems that Texas distillers have been having this year, and I bought one of the shirts about like Texas Strong and helping the distillery stay afloat kind of stuff. Oh, thank you, Brian Tapp. Yes, I actually have more likes for this than I expected, which is lovely. Because I don't understand YouTube very well. I know you have to get likes and subscribers and watch time, and it's like, I don't even know 1,000 people, you know? Yeah, do the thing. Why that's a thing, I don't know, but I'm happy that it is. And we're doing great with it so far. I know all the other Whiskey Tube streamers will encourage that too. It's bizarre, but it's a good thing. And it tells YouTube people are at least interested, which is something. One of the weirdest things about doing this is watching other people who make YouTube content and are much, I don't want to say they're better at it, but they definitely have more experience, I guess. Like I know Bourbon Shall Be Drank Later This Evening. He's been working in the film industry for a while in some way, shape, or form. So his setup looks incredible. The lighting is wonderful, and he's got a good camera. Like I'm using a webcam. If you can't tell, I'm not able to shift things. Like I know with ADHD whiskey, it's like this. This is all you see. He's very close to the camera. And good old algorithms, a word I never wish I had to know. The computer brain, the internet brain out there, trying to figure out who likes to see what, which is good. I like the idea, just the idea, not even if it happens, that somehow someone watches a Whiskey Vault episode or It's Bourbon Night or Aquavite, and it ends. They watch the whole thing and it ends. And then you get that screen that comes up with all the recommendations, and somehow I end up on there. I'm doing the right thing somehow. I don't know how. I don't expect anyone to click on it, but they might. It's an option. Oh, Cast Strings. That's another channel, isn't it? They do stuff. They're old school, as far as I understand it. Yeah, they are. They're from way back, from the Ardbeg days. The Priestess of Pete and Brad the Demigod. Oh, those were the days. Seems like just a little while ago. All these new kids without knowing and asking what the heck is a kung fu. I know what a kung fu is. Dang it. These subscribers are weird. Oh, that's good. One of the other things I wanted to do is voice acting. I don't even know how to get into that. I have no idea. But I have plenty of horrible accents like this one, which sounds like I don't know what, but here we are. Cheers to you, sirs. Nom, nom, nom. Nom, 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 nom. Yeah, that Icarus is pretty awesome, I gotta say. Which is strange because it's a lower proof. You would think I would like the Balcones more just because of the higher proof, but it's not true. I like the Icarus just because it's got that tinge of peat. It's corn sweet, I guess is something we're going to say now. And the Balcones is very interesting as far as tasting and the fact that I've never had a whiskey just be like, hi, how are you? There's all the moisture out of your mouth. Enjoy. Which one? This one? Ow. Clean. do this. I got to get this thing under control, by the way. I haven't actually been able to go to a barber in quite a while. If you can't tell. I haven't been to see a barber since December, and there's this gentleman barber shop who does mustaches and shaves and stuff, old school stuff. I don't know. There's a way to do it, but I think it's more of a California thing and not an East Coast thing. Oh, the accent? If I talk, I don't even know what I was doing. If I talk, I kind of like these. I don't know what I'm doing. I just kind of confuse myself. It sounds like I'm kind of half Italian and maybe something else. I don't know. We'll call it something from Europe. European? I don't know. They were going to be Swedish. The Swedish chef. Oh my God, I just got a horrible idea. Whiskey reviews by the Swedish chef. Thank you, Graham Bam. Thank you, ma'am. That's an awesome name for a person to be in here. Graham Bam. Thank you, ma'am. This is definitely a Swedish chef review. I can't do that. It feels silly. Trying to speak as the Swedish chef and trying to pretend to explain what I'm talking about with the whiskey. Yeah, it kind of hurts my brain. Whiskey sherbeder. Whiskey sherbeder. Sherbeder. In skischber, whiskey. Shishber. Schibishker. Iskiber, shitu. DB. Bishker. Dishkiber. Anyone who watches this is going to have no idea what I'm talking about if they come in at this point. There definitely is. Someone will be like, I understand. Finally, this whiskey tuber knows what I'm feeling when I drink the whiskey. Skirski-birskider. It would be even funny if there was coming like a copyright claim because of that. Hang on. YouTube's listening. Is that the Swedish chef? What? How dare he imitate that man? That legend. Copyright strike. Don't do that. No, YouTube. No. No. There are actually a couple channels I've seen on my radar that are, they speak a different language, let's say. And I would like to watch their content, but when I do, it's just, I don't know what they're saying. And there's a guy out there, I forget his name, but I've seen a few. I think Roy probably knows them better than I do because he's closer, as weird as that sounds. If he's in Scotland, so he knows other people from other countries, unlike Americans like me who don't know anybody. The fact that I know Roy is incredible. And still it. People I would never know or meet in the real world just because of where they're located. And yet I know who they are and have a general idea of where they are. Swedish whiskey girl? Wow. My soulmate, clearly. No. I don't want to make fun of anyone like that. The Swedish are wonderful people. And I hear they have wonderful chocolate, I think. The extent of my knowledge of Sweden. I think they have health care. So that's nice. Or is it Finland? Again, American who doesn't know much about other countries. German? I don't even know how to do a German accent properly without sounding like a certain person who no one wants to know, who died a long time ago in World War II. Yeah, if I think about doing a German accent, I only think of anger and fist raising for some reason. Not good. But if I were going to do a German accent, hold on. Germany, would have an accent somewhat like this. It feels almost too Swedish, but somehow I'm trying to make it less Swedish and more German. The Germans know what they're doing. They have cars, and they have roads, and they have German things. Why am I thinking German cars? God. Stereotypes and accents. I know so little about other countries. I'd like to try German whiskey. Well, I'd like to try an Indian whiskey from India. That'd be amazing. Schnell! That's what. Schnell and 9, and that's all I got. Unfortunately, German language is equated to anger with me. Much like the Russian language. Every time I hear it, I'm just like, what the hell are they saying? I don't know. Exactly. Yeah, the only thing I've watched is World War II documentaries. That's all I know of Germany, unfortunately. Other than it's a very nice place now, which is good. They've learned so much. I'm trying to think of Russia. Mother Russia. That's why I think of a Russian accent. They have this weird accent. They have a tang and a weirdness to their talking. I don't get it. Be bitter. John Paul from India. That's the real curse about the whiskey industry right now, in my experience, is that I can't get other stuff from other places easily. Even with what's going on right now, there's the whiskey tariffs from Scotland and Ireland for some reason, which all I know is it has something to do with the fact that it's transported a certain way and nothing to do with the actual product. It has to do with the transportation, not the product. The joys of the world, I guess. Amaroot's on my list. Roy's talked up Amaroot. Whiskey Belt's talked up Amaroot. I'm a little jealous, not gonna lie. But it's there. It's there. You know, it's something I want to try, but am I gonna do it anytime soon? I don't know. Like watching Roy in Isla recently, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to go there. I really do. I don't even know why. It's so far away. I've actually never been out of the United States except for Canada. That's it. I went to Canada when I was younger, which I talked about yesterday. My friends and I were all 18. We went to Canada. We could just cross the border then, no passport needed. And we got drunk. And we had some amazing steaks and a wonderful time. It's a lovely place. People spoke French. I seem to recall going into the Burger King or McDonald's, and the person spoke French to me first. And the only thing I could say was, parlez-vous anglais? Which I think means, do you speak French? But I don't remember. Beer, please. Ooh. I remember that one. Beer bitter. Beer bitter. Beer bitter. If I went to any other place, I'd just say beer. Or I'd point at the drink. I think that kind of language is understood, just grunts and groans. Give it. I need it in here. This is lovely. I'm so glad there are so many people here who just know each other and are chatty. It makes my job so much easier, especially when I'm still trying to figure these two out a little. But again, the whole point was I saw I had 150 subscribers, thought about the fact that I have these samples still and haven't touched them. And since they're so obscure, I don't want to give them an actual review, but they are lovely. Like, they're two whole different animals, which is great, which is exactly what I was hoping for. The peated one, it's the fact that they're both Texas whiskeys, but they're both completely different, which I like. Much like with Rex, I know he tends to like the kind of weird, funky stuff, or at least the different kind of aspects of the whiskey world, is that I know what bourbon tastes like, and then I have a general idea of Scotch, and I have a general idea of Irish. But you're always looking for the whiskey that makes you go, oh, that little pause, that kind of, oh, what's this? Oh, what? And all of a sudden, all your attention is just kind of locked into what that product is like, and you're fully engaged in the experience, which is the funny thing about whiskey, is that you can get locked in like that. especially with something that's different. The different is the important part, and part of why I like the whiskey world as it is right now, because as they said before, for one, I think who says it most often? I think it's I want to say Mash and Drum. Someone say whiskey is meant to be shared, and I think I heard that from Roy and Mash and Drum and a couple other places. But yes, whiskey is definitely meant to be shared and experienced with others, and also in general, the experience of whiskey is what's important as well. It's just enjoying it with other people, talking about it, and also having completely different tastes. That's another broad kind of thing. Is the whiskey you like to drink is the best whiskey kind of thing. Or how do Rex and Daniel say it on the Whiskey Vault? The whiskey you like to drink, the way you like to drink it, kind of thing. You drink what you want. It's whatever way you like is best, and that's very important because it's an inclusive statement. It's kind of in my brain, it's a broader philosophy that things can be different. People can like other things. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It works in the whiskey world. It works in so many other ways too. New Riff is on the list. That's why I haven't done one of those bubble bath. I've thought about it. I know it's the trend thing, and it's Reddit, and it's getting views, and it's something I know in my head I should do, just as a content piece. But I don't want to say to anyone, these are the only 5 things you need. I like to do like I did last year. I think it was last year where I did my 5 or whatever it was recommended bourbons or something like that. And I haven't had a lot of them, but I could do something like that. Like I have to be, strictly saying the ones I like, which I would recommend to anyone, are, this, and this. But I wouldn't want to limit myself to 5 bottles. I tried to do that in my head. And I don't even have a large collection. This is, we'll say 30-ish bottles, maybe a little more. But trying to limit that to 5 only, I could, but I wouldn't want to. You want the experience of other things. You want more different, life experiences with whiskey, so to speak. Is to always try something new and different, or at least share it with others. I think that's part of why Malort is doing the rounds, because you watch these people on stream drink Malort, and you watch the reaction, and you go, ha, 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 that's funny. But in the back of your head, you're a little curious, or you already know. So if you've tried it before, you know what that Malort experience is like, and that's why it's so funny to you. If you haven't, you're just curious about it now, like I am. I don't know what Malort is like, other than it's really bitter, apparently, and it's not great. But would I try it once? Yeah. Would I like it? Probably not, from what I've seen. Shared experiences. That's what this is all about, whether they be good or bad. I still don't know how Ed can drink that stuff the way he does. If it's as bad as anyone seems to think it is, I don't know why you'd want to drink it over and over again. That's not something I plan to do. At the best, I'll drink something. I will find something I really like. Here's my plan. As far as, with the super chat world and drinking this because someone tipped for it kind of thing, I would have to somehow get a very expensive bottle of something I really liked. And then people could tip for me to drink some of that, because it would hurt only because I know how expensive it is, but I would really enjoy it rather than really hate it. I would enjoy it, but I also would be a little sad because it's a stupidly expensive bottle. And I think that's from Whiskey Vault, them doing that. That's Rex's influence on me right there, where it's the expensive drink. He was always trying to get the MacLean M, and there's no way I'm ever going to have that. Let's be clear. But I did have a bottle of Red Spot. That was probably the most expensive bottle I bought, other than Lafroig Lore, which is long gone, as is the Red Spot. Those are my expensive bottles that I finished off a while ago. They were glorious. But I'd rather drink something I like rather than something I don't like. Just me. If I could get 5 bottles of 101, it's tempting. I finished off at least 3 bottles of Wild Turkey 101 this year alone, probably more. What I will do is I'm thinking of different bourbons I would like. And so far, they're all high proof. It's like Old Granddad, Wild Turkey 101, and Evan Williams White Label. But I also thought I could do a high proof lineup for that kind of thing too. So ideas, they're in there. Well, this has been lovely, and I honestly don't want to stop. I'll be completely honest. Old Granddad, yes, that was another one I saw. The 114. Oh gosh. Well, if I could afford a handle of Wild Turkey 101, I would probably have another one. But since I got this right now, I keep like 1 or 2 handles, and that's it. And I know I've had an Evan Williams White Label and a Wild Turkey over the past year-ish. 2020. I'm thinking January to now. I've only had one of those, but they're both gone. And I have that Evan Williams to finish off. What I'm going to do, although I don't need to, and I know this, is since I would love to keep chatting, to be perfectly honest, for another hour or so, but there's stuff going on. Oh gosh. They already have 59 people waiting. That's no pressure there for them. I'm going to post this link here. You guys know where it goes. They're going live in less than 4 minutes. And I'm going to cut out here. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. If you have any recommendations on what you'd like to see me review, that might be behind me, or that times to stream. Like so far right now, I'd be happy to stream again at 6 o'clock if I wasn't going to run into anyone else's stuff. And it gives me a good excuse to drink whiskey before its bourbon night begins. But I will stop the stream here. I'm sending you all to Bourbon Will Be Drank Later this evening because I'm going to go watch them. But thank you for joining me. I hope you come back. I hope you subscribe and like and all that stuff and share with friends, or even just ask people you know to subscribe. They don't even have to like whiskey. We're talking numbers here, people. That's all we need. And really, I'm mostly just working on the subscribe account first and then the viewer account or the viewer numbers later. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Thank you, Whiskey Tube, for just enjoying my content in any way you do. And I will hopefully do this again next week. No promises. But if we can get people to hang out and do this on Sundays at 6, I'd be happy to do that. So yeah, thanks for visiting. And I still have to come up with a better outro. I'm using like other things. But don't forget to be awesome. Live long and prosper. And of course, Sancha. That's good. There we go.